Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Runebound, the 3rd edition. Up to now I think I'm doing pretty much okay, but of course I only played one round so far. One thing I figured out after thinking about it a little bit is the setup ability of Corbin. You may move to a hex that another hero is in. First of all I thought, meh, what the heck. But of course when you consider his other special ability here, the bounty hunting, then it of course makes sense if you want to annoy the other player. So this is a great way to start your turn early because all the other heroes might be unprepared for an early battle here, and then you can easily gain 2 gold and a trophy. So that's actually a pretty good jump start. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of PvP, especially in games like this, which is why I think I would not play with Corbin. But I just wanted to let you know what this is all about. I will now continue without using this special ability here, of course. Let's start the next game round, and as you might remember, Corbin drew this quest here which sends him here to the Greenwood, all the way to the east of Terrinoth. I think right now we will not go in that direction because I rather want to send him here to Dawnsmoor, because there is this so-called supply card here which you can buy for 0 gold basically, and then you can sell this one in order to gain 2 gold. So this is a cool way in the 3rd edition here to make some actual money without fighting enemies and such. So those supply cards are all around the game. There are also cards that cost 2 but provide you 5 in return. So again, that's a great way. So I think with his first of 3 actions, he will roll the movement die in order to get there. Okay, this is not a problem. So here we have a hill symbol, and as in the 2nd edition, you can use any die in order to travel into a city hex. This concludes his first action. With the 2nd action we are going to trade with a city, or we're going to do a shop action. And right now those are the 3 goods that are available. First thing you do with a shop action, you draw a 4th card, and here we have the Elven armor, which is awesome. It gives you +1 health, +1 hand size, and you have a +2 to all of those skill tests. Of course, it costs 8 money, and yeah, I cannot afford it right now. I only have $2, so I think I will use my shop action as I planned. So I will take those supplies, so I just take them with me and put them next to my character card. I still have 1 more action. I could now decide to train, but I have cards which are fine for me, so I think I will rather do a movement action. As I'm planning to travel along the road, I don't need to roll my movement dice here, so I can just move 3 spaces, because again I can use any die to travel on a road. And then maybe for my next turn I will then challenge this enemy up there. Okay, let's see what Elder Mork is about to do. I think he will start here, and I'm really considering to go after the master, the story quest, because I really want to have this combat token here, because it gives me 2 of those physical damage symbols and 1 search symbol, and I think I will then trade it with this starting token, which I currently have also with a search and only 1 combat token, physical damage. So this is really a great way to optimize your tokens, but for now of course we have to put them back, and therefore I will travel up north. But I think I will take a small detour over this quest adventure here. So let's roll the movement dice. Let's see. Okay, that's really not a problem. We have 2 wild cards, 1 and 2. This was my first action. With a 2nd action I will flip it, so I will draw the appropriate card. And here we have the Prince of Thieves, another quest. There are rumors of a new outlaw prince who hides deep within the hanging woods. He is also generous to the poor and dangerous to the rich. Explore the outlaw glade. So what could I get there? I could dig up some mushrooms so I can become delayed to find some gold. Okay, at least something. I discover the Outlaw's hideout, draw 1 social card, but I still would be able to keep this as a trophy as well, which is cool. And the third option would be secure an audience with a prince. Gain 3 gold if you have fewer than 5 golds. Wow, this is awesome. Where is the Outlaw Glade? And actually again we are lucky. So here we have to go. Here's the Echo Lake where the other quest is. I think the event I have, right? So I think I could really go maybe this road there, and I think this will really optimize my road. And this is all about in this, what it's all about in this game, really optimizing your travels throughout Terrinoth. Some kind like a pick up and deliver game. But I think this was already the turn of Elder Mog. Theoretically, I could still use the walk on water ability. Unfortunately, there is no water around him. So if that would be a water hex, I would be able to move there for free. But yeah, I cannot do that right now. Then let's advance the time track. Nothing special will happen in this round. So we come back to Corbin, and Corbin will use movement action. He will not roll any dice because he will decide to move into adjacent location. That's allowed. Now I will flip, so this was my first action, then I will flip this combat adventure here. This costs me 2 actions, and then I will draw the appropriate card from the deck. And here we have a dragon hybrid with a health of 6, so this is definitely something we might be able to manage. This enemy has +1 heart for each lore token its foe has. Luckily right now we don't have any lore tokens yet, so I think we should be good. For a surge we could deal 2 physical damage. That's certainly something not so nice. And for 2 of those surged symbols, remove all of your foes' magical damage tokens. Right now, as we are still in Act 1, there is, I think, not really a chance to cast 2 of those surge symbols because we only have 1. So I think for now we can more or less ignore this second ability. Only when we enter into Act 2 later on, all those enemies become elite enemies and get an additional combat token, which is this one. So for once they're getting 1 more surge and the opportunity to deal 2 more physical damage. But again, we are in Act 1, so this doesn't apply. Okay, let's do some fighting. So here are the 3 combat tokens of Corbin. We all start with only 3 of those. Here are the 5 tokens for the dragon hybrid. They're all the same for all the enemies in the core game here. So all of the starting creatures here cast those 5 cards. So there are no special tokens for the enemies. Only for the, let's say, end bosses, you get an additional token to cast. Unlike the second edition, you're not rolling any skill checks for, I think you start with ranged combat, then it's melee, then it's the magical phase. In this case, you would really cast all of your tokens. The enemy does the same. In this game, your opponent or the other player will more or less control the tokens of your enemy, and you decide for your own. And then you see what basically happens. First thing that you always do is to determine the initiative. So first of all, you would cast all of your tokens. Your enemy does the same at the same time. So let's do that, and there are various ways to do that. So you could flip them like a coin, or you can shake them. So this is what I will do now. So I will cast my tokens. So these were the 3 symbols I'm casting here. The same we will do for our opponent. We will flip them and cast them, and then you will basically count the amount of golden tokens, and whoever has the most amount of golden tokens will win initiative. And this is important because you can really kill your enemy before he gets the chance to fight back. In this case, Corbin is the attacker, so in case of a tie, we will win the initiative. Luckily, this is the case. So we rolled 1 symbol, the enemy casted 1 symbol. So we will go first, which is certainly a good thing. The first combat round starts, and now we could decide what we want to do. So there are various combat actions you can take. So for once you could do physical damage with those symbols. You can use your search abilities, for example. You could use magical damage if you have, so you could use a double symbol. This is something that our opponent rolled here. But for Corbin, we only have two symbols right now available. So we have the physical damage and we have the search ability here. The search ability we could use from our character board. And this says X amount of search, deal X amount of physical damage. We rolled one search symbol, so this would equal 1 physical damage. But your foe could then spend immediately also the same amount of search tokens or search symbols to cancel this ability. And unfortunately, he rolled such a symbol, so he could cancel it right away. So I think we will not really waste our time with his search value, at least not for now. We will rather deal physical damage, and now we could decide to spend all physical damage at once. So we could say I will use all my axes here and I will theoretically inflict 2 wounds with it. But you could also say I will only do 1 now and maybe 1 later, but in this case it really doesn't make sense. So Corbin will announce I will deal 2 physical damage. Now our opponent has the chance to react, and he can react in this case with those shield symbols. He has 1 shield. Of course, you are right. This means we only dealt 1 physical damage, which we will place on the character card of this dragon hybrid. Those tokens are now spent, so they are removed for this combat round. This is something that you have to keep in mind. And now it's the turn of the dragon hybrid. He doesn't have any real damage symbols. What he can do though is he could use, or he could double his search tokens by using this double effect here. So for a combat action he could say I want to stack this symbol onto this double token. In this case I would then have 2 of those search tokens. This is a way to basically have 2 of those search symbols in front of you. Of course I forgot that. And with this special ability, remove all of your foe's magic tokens. This doesn't make any sense for him right now, so I think he won't be doing it. So I think he would rather go into this route. He could say I want to use this search token here to use the first ability here, which says slice, deal 2 physical damage. So this is the skull symbol, which is only present on those tokens here. And as Corbin didn't roll any shield tokens, he has to take 2 wounds. Right now that's okay. He still has 8 more hearts to go. And that was basically the combat, or the first combat round of the dragon hybrid. So he spent this token. Now it's back to Corbin. Right now he still has his search token here, and he now sees, okay, my opponent doesn't have any more of those tokens here. So I think in this case he will use his search symbol here in order to use the brutal assault, deal X amount of physical damage. Your foe may spend. We know that our opponent doesn't have any of those symbols. So in this case the dragon hybrid takes his 2nd wound. So we spend this token here as well. It's back over to the dragon hybrid now, and unfortunately he still has this agility symbol here. For once I can use agility to have my opponent recast one of his unspent tokens. We see Corbin doesn't have any tokens left, or unspent tokens left, so this doesn't make sense. But I can also use this agility token to flip one of my own tokens to the other side, and this is really flipping it, no, not recasting it, so I can really make sure that I get the symbol I want. So I will use this token here to flip this token on the other side. This was basically the combat turn of the dragon. Then it would go back to Corbin. He has to pass, and then we go back to the dragon, and the dragon will of course place this token here on this double token. So this counts now as 2 skulls. Then it would theoretically go back to Corbin, but he already passed. And then he will announce the attack here. And these are 2 skulls, which means Corbin takes another 2 damage. So this was really a very tough first round for poor Corbin here, and he only inflicted 2 points of damage. And you really see that this can be tricky when you fight the wrong dragon. This is really not the strongest one in the deck, so let me assure you. But we could now decide to flee from battle, so then we would roll a terrain die and then I could whatever go somewhere else. But I think this is not what I will do, because being defeated in this game is overall not that bad. Those tokens are spent. So let's just start another combat round by casting some of those tokens here. Okay, so here we have an axe. We rolled a shield and another search token. This is kind of okay, I guess. Let's cast the tokens for our opponent. Okay, wow, this is really tough. Again, we see who will win or won the initiative. No one rolled a gold token, so in this case it's a tie. Corbin goes first and he really sees, wow, that's a problem. If he will then put those 2 skulls on this double symbol, this means this would be 4 damage he would inflict. So this is really something that's not so funny for him, to be honest, and would really bring him down. But yeah, let's see. I think he will use his search symbol here and will trigger his brutal assault special ability. The opponent could now decide to spend this token in order to defend, but I think this token is also worth 2 skull symbols, and I think this would be enough to bring him down. Yeah, I think there's nothing or not much we can do here, so we will decide not to defend. This means he takes another point of damage, but this is certainly not a bad thing for the dragon. With his next action, I think he will just stack those 2 skulls onto his double token here. Now it's going back to Corbin. Yeah, I think Corbin will just announce this physical damage here. The dragon will defend with this one. Then the dragon will also announce the attack with 4 skulls here because of this double symbol. Corbin will defend with his shield. This means gets another 3 damage, so he's already down to or up to 7 wounds. Corbin has to pass basically because he has no tokens left, and it's back the dragon. He will use his search token, which is a slice, deal 2 damage. So he's up to 9 tokens, and this was basically the end of the combat round. And I think there is no way we can beat the dragon. If we would have inflicted 4 wounds up to now, then I would say let's take the risk. Maybe we roll our second one and maybe this one, and maybe the dragon only rolls 1 shield or maybe no shield at all, and we would win initiative. In this case we would be able to defeat the dragon. There is still a chance. If we roll this 3, we have maybe the initiative with this symbol here, then it would be 4. Otherwise it's not that bad. Okay, we will continue to fight, so I will not flee from battle. It's a dwarf after all. So let's cast the tokens for Corbin. Okay, these are... wow! These are 5 damage, 4 damage. This is awesome. Okay, there really might be a chance. And it's really all about having initiative or not. So this can be good and bad. Let's see. No, we don't. That's so unfortunate. So you see that we have 2 golden symbols for the defender in this case. So this means he would go first. Wow, this is so unlucky. Of course, he will use then his 3 tokens, and this is certainly enough to defeat poor Corbin. Wow, that was really so unfortunate. Okay, but this dragon here will be discarded, so will not stay on the board. I think this is also a difference to the second edition. This just goes back to the discard pile. Our poor hero takes his 10th wound basically, and this really shows everyone, hey, you are defeated, and the only real action you are allowed to take when being defeated is to do a rest action. You can still learn skills, so if you learn a skill that gives you +1 health, for example, then you are no longer defeated. But in this case, yeah, Corbin is defeated. He's out of actions anyway for this round. So we can move over to Elder Mog, and I think he will continue his quest towards this story quest here, maybe also taking a little detour over this social adventure here. But let's roll the movement dice first. Okay, so these are 1 and 2. 1, 2. The remaining one is a water or a mountain tile. Unfortunately, there is none, and he can also not use his walk on water special ability. So I'm really thinking of exerting, and this means I can now discard basically any number of skill cards on hand to keep re-rolling terrain dice. For each card I'm exerting or discarding, I would be allowed to roll 1 die. And I think this is what I will do here. I really want to move 1 space. I want to maximize my movement here. So I will discard this 1 step ahead skill card. Let me re-roll the die. That's another green. Perfect. This allows me to move to the final space up there. With my second action, I will move adjacent to this mountain space. This is the Exile Peak. And there I will meet the Master. And with my last action, I will swap one of your starting combat tokens with any combat tokens on this card. I think I already showed that to you. So I will give away this token, and we'll get this token here instead. There is one difference. You see that here. So this token is a golden one, so it can provide me with initiative, but still these are 2 axes, and I think this right now is more powerful, as I still have 2 gold I think I still have 2 gold tokens left. No, it's only 1 apparently. Okay, yeah, but I think nevertheless I will do the trade. So I will take this combat token, and yeah, basically this will go back to the reserve, and I think this will stay on this story quest card here for now. So maybe someone else will go after one of those golden tokens, or you can really make sure to get initiative. You saw that it can be pretty important. Well, this was the round, so let's advance the time track, and I think I will do one more round in this video. And as Corbin is defeated, he will have to take a rest action, which means he will roll 5 of his dice. I think this is a normal plane, so we will roll all 5 dice, and wow, what a poor roll here. So we only healed 1 wound, which is pretty much okay, because it allows us to remove 1 of those wounds, which means we are also no longer defeated, so we can take now all the other actions. And I think this is what I will do. So with my second action, I will do a movement action. So again, I will roll 3 dice, and my aim is clearly to move into this space. It shouldn't be a problem, hopefully at least. Yeah, okay, this is the, oh no, it is. So this is the wild to move onto this hex, and then I can move by road using any number of dice. So I will end my movement here in Market Town. I still have 1 more action left, and I will rest again, and resting in a non-wilderness hex tile, which this town clearly is, allows me to fully heal my character. And you see, being defeated in Runebound, the 3rd edition, isn't that bad. Of course, I lost an entire turn, but still I traveled a little bit closer to my quest location here at the Greenwood Forest. So I think overall it wasn't that bad, and I was able to show you an actual combat. Okie dokie, let's move over to Eldamok, and I think with his first action he will mosey here to this hex. With his remaining 2 actions he will flip this social adventure and kill Surprise. It's an enemy, the con artist, a trickster and a humanoid with only 4 hearts, so overall not that bad, but it says the hero may test, what's it again, I hate it, -1 when she or she enters combat. To take this card as a trophy, if the hero fails, discard this card. Okay. So I have to fight basically this con artist here. It's not really that bad. It has this search value here. Remove 1 of your foes. Oh, combat tokens. Yeah, something. Let's see. We will have to cast some tokens here. But I think first of all, no. We should not forget to do the pre-combat mind test -1. Unfortunately, Eldamok only has a mind value of 1. -1 is 0. So I'm allowed to draw 0 skill cards. And those skill cards also show you if you are successful in a test. So in this case, I would then maybe draw X amount of cards. In this case, it's 0. And if any of my skill cards I draw through this test shows this success symbol here, I would succeed at this test. Yeah, right now it's not allowed. I could still discard those cards in order to exert, so I can also exert on those skill tests, and this would allow me to keep this card. Yeah, why not? Okay, let us exert. So I will exert this card, so I will discard the skill card, and then I would be allowed to draw 1 skill card. So that's a good thing. Let's see what we draw. And guess what? It shows this little success symbol, which means we successfully did this pre-test here. So I would be allowed to take this card as a trophy. Awesome. So let's cast some tokens finally. So let's cast the tokens for Mok. Okay, these are 2 magical damage, 1 agility, and 1 search. So overall, not too bad. Let's see what our con artist rolls. Wow. Look at this. This will be awful here. Okay, we see we have 2 golden symbols, so in both, or in this case, again, Eldamok would start. And, wow, if this guy would go there, this means Eldamok would be pretty much dead. So I think with his first action, he will use this agility symbol and will say, please recast this symbol here. So it's a recast, it's not an automatic flip, so we could end up with the same result. So let's see, and yeah, guess what, we are unlucky. So this agility token has been spent without any real use. Then it's the con artist, and yeah, guess what, the con artist will stack those symbols onto his double token. So these are 8 points of physical damage, which is certainly a lot. Then it's going back to Eldamok. He will say, I will now inflict 2 magical damage. There is nothing the artist can do against that, so she takes 2 wounds. Then it's the artist. He will announce, I will attack Eldamok. So he takes 8 points worth of damage, but we are not through yet, as Eldamok still has his search token here, and this search will trigger unleash spirit, test spirit +1 to deal 1 magical damage for each success. We have a 2 + 1 for his ability here, so we are allowed to draw 3 skill cards, and for each success symbol we see we inflict 1 magical damage. And I really think Eldamok seems to be a pretty powerful guy. Let's draw some cards. So that's the first one. Yeah, that's 1 success, 1 damage. Inner Fire, no success token, and Streetwise, this is the second success we basically drew. So this means Con Artist takes another 2 hits, enough to defeat this one. So as a reward, Eldamok gains 2 gold And because of our skill test, or our successful skill test, we are also allowed to keep this card as a trophy. So we will just flip it and put it next to our player board. So we would be allowed to use it later on in order to learn a skill. That was the round. Let's advance the time track. We will draw another story quest card. And here we have the Dragon Cult. The Dread are a splinter cult that believe dragons are the divine fire of Kalos made flesh. The Dread believe the Dragon Wars were punishment for mankind's many sins, and the dragon fire will burn all the lands and purge the unrighteous. In turn order, each hero must flip one adventure gem face down. We will start with Corbin. Corbin knows where Eldamok is heading to, so he will flip this token here. And guess what? Eldamok will flip this one. And this was really pretty mean story card for poor Corbin. Not sure if he will manage. So I was really hoping to have him encounter this adventure, but overall it's not that bad, because at the end of next round all of those gems will be placed face up again. And I think I will end my playthrough for today. I really hope that I will do better with Corbin the next time. If you have any tips or tricks and suggestions for me, please let me know. And yeah, apart from that, I really hope to see you in my next episode of my playthrough of Runebound, the 3rd edition. And yeah, until then, bye bye.